So welcome everyone. I'm Ivy Rivera. I'm a psychic medium, a Taino Airwalk, and this is my pet psychic show, Pet Readings, and it's exactly as it sounds. You are going to drop a $10 donation, and then you're going to drop your pet's name, whether they're living or deceased, and your question. Now, if you don't have a specific question, you just want to hear a message from your deceased pet, or your living pet, okay, you could just pose your question that way. So you're just saying, what is their message for me today? And we'll get right into it. Okay, we have a couple early ones coming in. I do want to make a quick announcement before we get into this today, just in case anything goes haywire. A couple weeks ago, I know you guys were tuned in for it, when I had what appeared to be ice banging at my door here in New York State in America. We have Diana, my beautiful producer, dealing with missiles and bombs because she's in Dubai. It's a great display, what we have going on here. Two people just trying to give out love to the world, just trying to bring healing to the world. And this toxic administration worldwide, internationally, attacking us, trying to wipe us out. We are sick and tired of this shit. We are also needing prayers and support at this time. Please pray over Diana and her family that they are safe. And if we have a disruption in the shows, because she is supposed to produce this entire month of March, you guys just bear with me while I get some backup help in here, and we'll have to go live again. Okay, hopefully we don't have issues like that. Things are quiet right now. And that is what we're manifesting. And if you voted for this, or you didn't bother to go vote at all, I hope you have the day you deserve, because it is coming. All right, let's go ahead and get into this today. So the first one up is McKenna. Oh, McKenna became a YouTube member. Thank you, McKenna. I don't have my list to do a shout out for you guys today. I know we've had some new subscribers in the last week or two, and I didn't want to give a shout out without adding you guys to it. So I'm a little behind schedule today, given all the stressors that Diana and I are dealing with right now. Okay, so thank you so much, McKenna. Welcome. And yeah, if you guys want to become a YouTube member, go onto my YouTube channel at Ask Ivy the Medium, hit the join button. You'll see the 3 different tiers of membership options. Tons of perks going on over there. First question up is for Denise. Denise is asking about Yoda, who is deceased. Okay. So just a general message here from Yoda. So when I go over here with Yoda, Yoda is giving a red rose, which is a birthday or anniversary right around this time. This can also be a passing anniversary or just a deep love. Take it how it resonates. Yoda is keeping a close eye. I feel like, I don't know if you named him Yoda because of his eyes, but they look like Yoda's eyes. They look like little human round eyes. I would say Yoda's keeping a close eye on you. This is mostly happening at night in your dreams. So if you've been feeling him like up on the bed, laying on you, sleeping with you, this is about, I want to say, visiting you in your dreams, trying to get to a place where I can bring you some comfort. I can bring you some support. You know, Yoda still has a lot of connection to you in regards to caretaking. And we see this often with certain pets, that it's less about how we are there to take care of them. We realize in time, it's more about them being here for us. It's very obvious that if anything is wrong with us, they're almost intrusive in the way they come in closer to fix it. And I feel that here. So Yoda is trying to lay on you. I feel like your ankles, your feet. I can't prescribe a diagnosis. I'm not saying you have anything going on there, but okay, if you've had any discomfort, this would symbolize bringing healing to that area. Also, if you've been struggling to move forward, like push yourself forward in life, that's also the area where Yoda would lay on. And then I feel like a little bit with the knees as well. and mostly, okay, up here. So healing your heart, healing your mind, healing your throat chakra. And I feel like you treated Yoda like a baby. Like Yoda is my baby. And I see pictures. I feel like I'm in the living room and slightly over to the right. So a bit of a memorial area over there. And then feels like some of his things down to the left. So if I'm facing this memorial spot, I'm going the opposite way and down to the floor. So you may see or take pictures, or out of the corner of your eye, I'm seeing orbs, I'm seeing lights, I'm seeing cascading, even sparkles over here. So Yoda, you know, tries to come through in your dreams mostly to stay long enough to make you feel the message, which is I'm bringing you love, I'm bringing you comfort in the bed at night for sure, but also in that space, mostly out of the corner of my eye. And I want to say his energy zigs and zags real fast too. So you may see like a light and then it's like moving too quickly to really catch. You know, if this is on video, if this is on camera, or even a photograph, it may streak how fast it moves. Okay. If you catch that shot, a lot of love to you, and just a lot of talk right now about bringing healing to your heart and your throat. So if you're struggling to say something and you need extra protection over this area of your body, just know Yoda is giving it. Okay. But thank you for taking such good care of me. Thank you. It's like, thank you for making me your baby. Thank you for keeping me as your baby. This is a sweet connection. Very simple connection. All right, we're going to move on to another one. Who do we have next? Edgar. All right, Edgar said, my cousin had a dog named Rambo that passed away years ago. Does he have messages for me? This is your cousin? Is that what that said? Did that say cousin or brother? My cousin. Okay. Because what I'm getting here is like messages for your cousin, but it doesn't feel like your cousin. You may be close to your cousin. This could be almost like a brotherhood, you know, more than some people never see their cousins at all. This seems like someone you were quite close to. So my feeling here is that, you know, Rambo is watching over your cousin in particular. There is talk of a white rose here, which is about healing. So if your cousin is going through something and you can pass that on, if your cousin doesn't have a sense of closure, or like there was a lack of goodbye with Rambo, please pass that on, because I see him pulling the thorns off of this white rose. So he appears to be going through something. Okay. And then he appears to be also having a lack of closure, or like there wasn't a final goodbye. In regards to Rambo, I feel like Rambo was irreplaceable also. So, you know, this often happens where we have like that one pet and you're like, look, I'm not going to get any more. And then maybe you do end up with more pets, but it's almost like that one holds a really special place. So I'm feeling that he's just acknowledging that. Okay. Also, so if you could pass on those messages, I feel like for you, Rambo's talking about like clearing your head. It's like you came a long way. You may have had a lot of thoughts last time you saw him in the physical form. You may have had a lot of like stress. You may have been like very high energy. Like, I'm thinking of this. I want to go play this. Let's go do that. You know, you were all over the place. It's like you've streamlined it. And now you're able, okay, to sort of be more productive with all of that energy. And it feels like you've taken, because he thinks that you were always fun. Okay. So it's like you've taken this sort of high vibrational or high strung energy and you've channeled it, you've streamed it into what feels like productive, fun activities for other people, or enlightening activities, or high vibrational activities that other people can get involved in. So I don't know too, if you were the one who organized games and stuff like that when you guys were younger, but it seems like you're always heading something up. Okay. But he is talking about coming through, helping you to clear your head. So you may be thinking too much about things right around this time. Okay. Denise Trujillo said, thank you. You're very welcome, Denise. Thank you. All right. Thank you, Edgar. We are going to move on to another one. Again, if you guys are tuning in late, these are unlimited for tonight, so you could drop as many questions as you want. So it's going to be, you're dropping your $10 donation. You're dropping the name of your pet. You're saying whether they're living or deceased. If you want to tell me whether they're a cat or a dog or a bird or a fish or a turtle or whatever, that would save me a little time as well. And your question. Okay. And it could just be like, I just want a message. I don't have a particular question. But a lot of people will have questions about their living pets and why certain things are happening, okay? And that also goes. So this one is for Mackenzie Mooser. Do any of my living animals in my home? Okay, so here are the living animals in the home. We've got Nikita, we've got Moulin, and we've got Kitten. Okay, do they have anything important to say? Moulin has a lot to say. All right, so I think that Moulin thinks everything I have to say is pretty important. So we're not going to overlook that. But these tend to be a lot of complaints. These tend to be a lot of complaints about like the service or the food choice or the positioning of the other pets and how like this is my space and I need more of my space and those are my things and don't touch my things. There's a real kind of Virgo feel going on here, okay? No offense, Virgos, but there is a meticulous, particular, critical sort of, well, I never, attitude here toward life. And I think it takes Moulin's messages for you from important, as you said, to just plentiful. Moulin would really like a little bit more personal space if you can manage that. This would mean, I really don't know how you're going to pull this off, okay? But I'll let you figure that part out, I guess. It feels like if I'm laying here, say Moulin's on like the back of the couch or I'm on a cushion, I'm on something soft. I'm laying here. I'm trying to relax. I expect I'm going to have my space to myself for as long as I want it. And that's fair. Maybe we could try to make that happen more. Okay? For Moulin. Telling the other ones, like, leave him alone. Get away. Stay away from there. Okay? I also feel like the food complaints are sometimes about wanting a different brand. So if you switch between two different brands, like a more expensive brand or a higher up brand, and then something a little bit more like supplemental, like sometimes I have to get this kind. I think there's a lot of complaints about either the flavors of the cheaper brand or the cheaper brand itself. And it's like, I can't do this. I simply cannot. Okay, so it's almost like, where's my fancy feast? Okay. It is what it is. I feel like with Moulin and Nikita, there is also talk of when you leave. So when they're alone, it seems like you leave on some dim lights, but maybe you could leave on more lights, not bright lights, but just more lights like that. And background noise. So not necessarily something toxic like the news, or a really obnoxious show, but can you leave on like pet TV? Can you leave on like cat TV? Can you leave on some maybe sounds of nature? Can you leave on some type of background noise? Not loud, but there, okay, in the house when you go, because there does seem to be a lot of stress about when you go. And that's it, okay? Kitten is just complaining about the litter and the litter box. So not just, but that's, Kitten's only complaint there is that there seems to be too many people in the litter box. There seems to not be enough litter boxes. Now, I mean, what you're supposed to do is 2 litter boxes per cat. I think maybe you could increase that, or if you are already doing that, maybe we could still increase that. But there are complaints about the litter brand, and there are complaints about how many people are in the litter. Yeah. So I would be careful with that. If that one ever has any accidents, we know why. Okay. But you got, these are tall orders. I understand. Okay. But yeah, that's what they want to say. And they love you very much. They're very attached to you. I feel like following you around like little shadows. Okay. And it feels like Nikita would follow you around more if you weren't already sort of being followed. So you're being followed visually, energetically, even when you're not being followed literally by all three. Okay. All right. Thank you. We're going to move on to another one. This is for Nicole Clarkson. Nicole is asking about Ted, who is alive. Okay, and what's the question about Ted? Is this, what kind of animal is this? What's the question? Or is this just like a general message from Ted? Does Ted have anything to say? Mm-hmm. Okay, I guess just does Ted, a general message from Ted. Okay, so what does Ted have to say? I feel like wanting more time with you. I want to be closer to you. I want to spend more time with you. It's not about what we're doing. It's about the time spent. So it feels like Ted wants to be like on your leg or on this other leg or like right here. Like I want to be at your side, but I think this is quite literal. Like I want to sit, you know, on you. There is a slowing down going on here. So there is a certain maturity level that we're reaching where it's like you two get together and it's very grown up. It's very like, let's just sit, let's just rock, let's just watch the birds, let's just listen to nature, let's just watch a TV show, let's just be happy to be in the company of one another, let's not fuss. I love it. It's very sweet. And it's that maturity level that makes it feel very fulfilling, you know, instead of having to bring in a lot of drama or play or travel about. There's something sweet here. There's also talk of treats, loving my treats. So I can't tell if this is like a bacon treat or if this is like a beef jerky type treat, but I have something brown. I feel like I like my treats. Yeah, treats and time together with you. I do think sometimes with Ted, and I can't prescribe or diagnose, but we want to watch the eyes, we want to watch the ears, and we want to watch the nasal cavities here. So the top portion of the face and head is where sometimes we can see some health stuff arise. And it's like you can see Ted's mood based on this part, okay, of his body. I think that sometimes we're talking about the gums or the teeth or the molars. Okay, so maybe like the upper teeth, the upper jaw. But mostly, okay, it's from here up. So if ever you have a concern, it's like check, you know, I'm checking the nose, I'm checking the eyes, I'm checking for drainage, and there's my answer. So he's like clockwork with that. Okay, he loves you very much. There also seems to be missing of a male. So if there was a male there and then the male, like, you know, is sort of gone, there's talk of the missing of the male. And this could be something that you're experiencing. And, you know, he's trying to bring you some healing with that. Take it how it resonates. But a lot of the healing energy is going toward that for you. And we're going to move on to another one. Thank you so much. Who else do we have coming in here? Okay, Nigeria Love. This is on TikTok. How are you? You have a living pet cat named Stormy. Okay, Stormy, and you want a general message for or about Stormy. Okay, let's get into Stormy's energy and see what's coming up here. Okay. So when I go over here with Stormy's energy, I'm a little bit irritated. I'm easily irritated. There's a way of sort of, what is that, you know, or get away from me, or that better not be coming in here, or it's like, I want to attack this thing. There's a sort of high intensity attack level surrounding, I want to say, movement. Okay, loud noises. But Stormy in general is pretty serene. Stormy in general feels very competent. I'm very secure in my position. You know, I'm very capable of protecting myself and protecting you. I don't think you fully understand how much Stormy thinks that like you're the pet. And so a lot of this sort of defense reaction is to keep you, the pet, the baby, safe. It's very sweet. It's not necessary. Okay. But I do think that keeping things low key, making sure there aren't a lot of bright lights and like loud noises or any kind of like arguing or things clinking and banging, you know, this is stuff that Stormy doesn't appreciate by far. And there's a desire to constantly be on your legs. So, and I'm not saying you have anything health-wise going on with your legs. I can't prescribe or diagnose, but legs for you come up, I want to say from right just above, okay, the knees, and then down the rest of the way. They come up as like pressure points, or, you know, places where sometimes maybe there's swelling or you need to put your feet up more. This can also symbolize you feeling stuck in life. And it's the physical symbology here of reference point to circumstances holding you back on the left side, and then on the right side, you wanting to move forward but can't. All right. So Stormy has a way of stepping in and trying to lay on those parts to get things moving and or to get the healing going. I also feel like showing up in your dreams a lot lately, and I'm going to kind of wrap it up with that. I'm trying to figure out what the heck he's trying to do here. It's like showing up in your dreams all the time. So if you wake up and every day you're like, Stormy was in my dream again. Stormy was in my dream again. You may not notice that until you wake up, because in the dream, Stormy may look different. So let's just put it this way. You two are working together on other dimensions. There's a contract here. There's a pretty tight bond here, a work contract. You help one another. Yeah. All right, thank you. Enjoy. Anyone else? Just curious if anyone else notices every night when you go to bed, you've got one of your pets in your dreams with you, like helping you to do things. You're traveling together. You're conquering things together. It's very fascinating. Different contracts with different pets. All right, we have another one coming in here for Edgar. And Edgar says, my ex-neighbor had a white cat named Tommy that I would often feed. I'm not sure if Tommy is still alive. Does he have any messages for me? A white cat, Tommy. Let me see what I'm getting with this. I don't think he's still alive. No. But I don't know if he had some orange on him. Seems to be something funny about the nose, like a patch over here and maybe over the one eye. Seems to be a little change in color in a couple spots. When he's coming in here, and he may have been like a big boy, or at least he thought he was a big boy. He feels like, I don't know if he wasn't neutered. And it's like, sometimes you get a load of a cat and you're like, dang, you shouldn't be running around all free like that. You know what I mean? Like, it's a lot. He seems to be a lot. A lot of personality, a lot of life, a lot of easy attachment. You know, I want to say attachment to people. Easy to communicate with, maybe easy to like pet. Street smart though, for sure. You know, this is this is an animal who comes in here just to remind you. I feel like it's a message about like reminding you to live, reminding you to play, reminding you to love, reminding you to, yes, be street smart, but also like, don't worry too much about it. You know what I mean? Like if I'm up to bat and I should have to protect or defend myself or pull back or, you know, detach in any way, I'll do that. But for now, I'm going to go ahead and I'm just going to like live free, you know? I also feel like you were very kind, and I do wonder if sometimes he needed a little bit more love than what he was giving. He wanted a bit more love. He seems to have been one of these pets, at least this is how he's explaining it. It's like I was there, but I wasn't really important. You know, I'm not saying his owners were bad people, but there is sometimes the way people are with animals. It's like, whatever, I have so many, you know what I mean? It's like some people have like 10 kids. It's like, whatever, get the older ones, take care of the younger ones. You know what I mean? Or like, only the sons are relevant, you know, as he comes on over here. Hi, mama. She was a cat I took off the street. You know, when there are a lot of other things going on, or there are a lot of other pets, pets can sometimes, right, mama? I agree. You want to come up here and sit? They can sometimes just be a little bit neglected, and they have to kind of go out and get their own, you know, and it feels like that's what you were doing, was you were supplying for him, and he loves you for that. I think you made his life a lovely place, a lovely time to be. Okay. I think you'll be seeing him in a dream too. I would say either tonight or 3 days out from now. There's something odd about that timing, so pay attention. Thank you. We're going to move on to another one. Ezzy has joined us. She just could not resist, so she woke up out of her nap. We have Bridget is next. Okay, so we've got Bridget saying Romeo Taylor. Make sure I'm getting this name right. Romeo Taylor recently passed. I just want to know if he's okay and if he's with anyone in spirit. Okay, so I feel two other pets being there with him, and my ear is ringing like crazy. So a couple different things. He's in a good place. He's very happy where he is. He is able, okay, to move about. I don't know if this was the hip area or the organs through here or the whole section itself, but it seems like the lower part of my body is not doing well, okay, before my passing. And so there's a lot of freedom that comes along with Romeo crossing to the other side. There is also talk of two other pets that are there, one that feels more like a cat, one that feels more like a dog. Take that how it resonates. So I feel like he's in good company. Ow, ow. We're not doing that, Ezzy. And there's some visitation going on here in the house as well, from what looks like the kitchen to, I don't know if you have a bit of a strange layout on your house. I don't normally see this type of floor plan, but it's almost like I've got the kitchen over here. I've got the living room over here. Maybe you're just using that space differently than the way a lot of people do. And then I have a hallway, and then I have a bathroom, and then I have a bedroom. So I'm watching him sort of do the rounds in the house, checking on you, following you. He may also be knocking things over. So if you're hearing noises, if you're catching things and you're like, when did that fall? How did that get there? Why is that turned or upside down or, you know, shifted around? I think he's doing this. I think his new big thing, though, is going to be visiting you at night. So laying with you in the bed, feeling him jump up, seeing him possibly in your dreams. That's going to take a little bit of additional effort, but I think he's pretty good at it. Okay. I also feel like my heart stopped. There's talk of my heart stopped. I don't know if you had to put him down, but there's talk of my heart stopped. It feels very, how do I want to say this? He said fluid. I think what he means by that is that there was comfort in the way that I passed. It feels like I'm here and then it just stopped. You know, it didn't have to be long and dragged out and anything horrible. Okay. It feels peaceful to me. And he just really at this point wants you to know that he loves you. Okay. I don't know too, if you've been saying like, I'm not going to get any more pets, or like, this was it for me, you know, or something like that. I feel like you have his blessing either way, but it does seem like there could be another animal that's going to try to make its way over to you. And I do wonder if he plans to reincarnate and come through again. So keep an open mind. I said you're too busy. Like you're working too much. You've got too much on your calendar. You're doing too much. Like sit down. Okay. Sit down and rest. And turn your mind off. Turn your mind off. Okay. So he was good at coming around and just getting you to like, okay, yes, I'm present. Yes. I forgot. Life isn't go, 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 go. And when I stop, it's not think, you know, and when I shut that off, it's not worry. You know, sometimes it's just to be, it's just to be centered. Okay, so he really helped you with that a lot. Thank you for the hearts on TikTok. What are you digging up? Are you digging up your good? That's what you're supposed to use as a scratch pad, an actual scratch pad. Good girl. Okay, we're going to move on to another one. Who do we have next? This is Josie C6772. Josie says, my daughter Allie would like a pet reading for her dog Archie, who is alive. Okay. And we don't have a particular question about Archie, so I'll just go with something general on this. Okay. I just want to ask everyone real quick before I get into this next question. Could you please give this video a thumbs up, drop a comment of any kind. In particular, I would love to hear if your reading resonated with you tonight, and where you're tuning in from. I'm always very curious about that. Please do also share this video and subscribe. All right, so we're going to move on to Josie. Josie is actually asking on behalf of Allie, who wants to know about Archie. So let me break this down. Let me get in the right energy here. Archie the dog for Allie. Archie, what do you want to tell Allie? It's like a series of balls here. They're all different colors, and some are on a rope. Maybe like a blue and white rope with like a blue ball, or a blue and white rope with like a red ball. I don't know if this is literal. Take it how it resonates. It's probably just sort of symbolic, you know, of certain toys that look like this or are these shapes. I think that there's a lot of excitement here, okay, about these balls, about this rope toy, about this long thing. So she seems to be, Allie seems to be creating some fun, some action, some adventure. Some of this could also come through like walking, you know, or spending time in the yard. It's like when I'm with you in these places, that's when I'm having the best time of my life. And so there's a lot of excitability here with Archie in a couple different circumstances. That's very, very sweet. It's very, very simple. It's incredibly fulfilling. I do think that with Archie, as you know, as we get older, I want to say, like, we do want to be a little bit careful about the hips. Hoping I don't have lipstick on my teeth tonight, because like this lipstick was acting up earlier. You know, there's something about sometimes as an animal gets older, okay, we want to make sure that we're using things like those climber steps or those cushion transitions or those, you know, I'm hearing arch supports, but I think what they really are is like, you know, ramps with levels to make things easier. So we're not jumping way up in the car, and then we're not jumping way down out of the car, and we're not jumping on the sofa and jumping off in the bed and this and that and the other, because the thing is, like, Archie doesn't seem to understand limitations. It's like, I want to do this, so I'm gonna do this. And then sometimes there can be some consequences through the hips or the joints, the feet, the paws, the little, you know, their little wrists, their little paw joints, the knees, that whole thing. And then we could have an overcompensation going on the other side that causes other sort of spinal problems. Okay. I also feel like sometimes the one ear, now I can't prescribe a diagnosis with any of this, of course, but I do wonder sometimes if there's an allergic reaction to something like chicken or fish. Is this seafood? Is this shrimp? Some seafood or chicken, there could sometimes be an allergic reaction depending on what other ingredients are in certain foods that could cause, I'm getting it in the left ear. Take it out, resonates. But it feels like my ear is itching. So there could be something going on in there. Sometimes, not all the time. All right. And yeah, I just feel like he loves you very much, Allie. I feel like he's really just excited to see you and be with you and just be around you. Anytime you're around, anytime you're coming home, you know, it's like the best day I've ever had. These are the best moments of my life. And you're just there. You don't even really have to do anything, but definitely walking, nature, and playing with these toys. Okay, those are the big winners. Thank you very much, Josie and Allie. We are going to move on to another one. What was just up there? I didn't see that, Diana. Was that something important? No? Okay. Nigeria Love on TikTok says, my dog, Max, just a general reading. Okay. Max has passed. General message, anything? Max, what do you have to say to Nigeria Love? You know, Max comes through as like kind of old, like an old man, like an old soul, like a very steady, stoic, solid individual. Like this is the type of individual you really want to have in your corner. You know, this is an animal that also truly appreciates everything that you gave. I feel like I'm going to cry, not because I want to cry, because I'm pretty numb today and I have to be. But like, that's the level of gratitude that Max is feeling toward you. It's almost like I want to cry just saying this to you. Like, you saved me. You saved me. Now, I don't know if you rescued him literally or what is going on with this scenario, but it feels like you saved me from what was a very bad life or two potential really bad situations and circumstances, okay, that he could have gotten into. And so here you come, this savior, you know, and he always knew that. I also feel like this is a mirroring message, which is weird. I don't think I've ever said it that way before to a client, but it's almost like he's saying, this is how you feel about him. Like he saved you, he rescued you, you know, he made your life complete. So you guys have this beautiful bond. He's pretty wired where he is now. He is doing some travel between a few different dimensions on a regular basis and comes through quite loud. So when he comes through to visit, you may have like flickering lights, your batteries may drain, your light bulbs may blow out, you know, your phone is like fully charging, or you know, your computer system is acting up, weird emojis on your phone. You know, he's using electricity, technology, batteries, okay, all the things to let you know. Lamps, I see a lot of lamps flickering. Yeah, lights flickering, lamps flickering. There's one in particular, okay, that may have like a lamp shade on it. I mean, I know a lot of lamps do, so that's kind of like not the most specific, but it feels big. It feels like a gaudy lamp, or it feels like a maybe like a blue lamp with a cream colored light shade or something like this. It's just how he's showing it to me. Take it out, resonates. But it feels like there's one lamp in particular that I'm going to be using. So know that this is his way of coming around and trying to snag energy, okay, from technology, and then use it to give you love, to give you healing, to give you support. I also feel you sitting a lot. So if you had like a favorite, almost feels like a love chair or a love couch. Is that what they used to call them? It's like a small couch. I feel you sitting on a small couch, and it's like him on you, like head on your lap. Okay, laying this way and head on your lap, like chin on your lap. And just like you petting his head, I feel that, and hair, it's like he's still finding my hair, he's still finding my fur. Probably are. I feel like this is sometimes when you're sitting and relaxing, whether it's like you have a snack or a bowl of fruit or something, you're watching, you know, TV or whatever, you're trying to relax. I feel like you can also sense him there. Be watching for him in your bed as well, but especially in a dream. I'm hearing this week or tonight. Okay, a dream. You can't miss it. So a lot of love to you. I feel like when it was over, and that was the right time as well. And I know you know that. Thank you, Nigeria Love on TikTok. We are going to move on to another one. I think that's how my cameras are set up, right? Yes, TikTok, Instagram, YouTube. Okay, we have one here for Catherine Nilozinski. I'm sorry if I butchered that. Catherine says, I want to know if Artemis has any messages for me. She has passed. I also want to know about my living cat, Tinkerbell bites. I would like to know why. Okay, well, I could do one or the other of these. So Tinkerbell bites. Unless, did she buy a double? Oh, it is two. Okay, gotcha. Thank you, Diana. Cat Artemis, who passed, a general message, and Tinkerbell bites. Why? Okay. I'm going to go to Tinkerbell first. Tinkerbell bites because it feels like it's a natural instinctual reaction to cats are like that. I mean, basically is what I want to say here. Okay. I don't have all the science behind it, but you could probably Google it and it would pop up what I'm about to say. There is an instinct here with Tinkerbell where it's like almost like she invited you to pet her. And I'm seeing this more from the middle of her back down toward her tail. But let's just say she's laying next to you. Okay. Now pay attention, because what came first, the chicken or the egg? Did you go sit next to her or did she come sit next to you? Because it does make a difference, okay, in the answer to this question. But it's almost like it looks like she wants to be pet, but then she's biting. It also looks like sometimes people are just near her, as my cat leaps at me and scares the life out of me, out of a dark shadow, my black cat. Sometimes people are just living and she comes near them and bites, or shows some type of like, again, it looks like, okay, I want you to pet me, I'm going to let you pet me, you're petting my head, you're in an okay zone, I'm all right with it, and then all of a sudden I'm not, so she has a way of doing that, I think, when she's feeling a little bit reactionary, threatened in some way. It's instinctual. She may also be biting, I feel like, her tail area. So if she's doing anything also to herself, this is like dry skin. I mean, I don't think I'm looking at fleas here. Okay. But sometimes it almost feels like she's also like biting on herself. Her paws, like the top of her paws. I wonder if she was a dog in her last life. I really do. Because it's almost like she uses her mouth for a lot of things. Whereas even the most sort of wild cats here, like mine, who is like out on the street for the first 4 months of her life, she seems to use her mouth more, okay, than even them. So yeah, I think that's what's going on with her. I don't think it's ow. I don't think it's meant to be, I heard critical. Okay, that's how she's referring to it, like critical. Like I'm not criticizing you, or I'm not judging you, or this isn't personal. This isn't really about you or others, or even the situation necessarily. It's her instinctual reaction, and I think it has to do also with her teeth. And I really am serious when I say this, that I believe she was a dog in a past life, because there's a desire to also chew on things. Okay, so whether this is like the couch or corners or boxes, it's like I want to get my teeth in there, like I want to crunch on this thing, and it's like, what? It's a little odd. So do that. Give her things to chew on. Let her get it out. But yeah, it's not personal. I would just be careful that often, and this is sort of a general message for everyone, often when we're petting a cat, they'll start to bite, because you can only pet, I think it's for like, hold on, I have to fix my Instagram here. I think you can only pet a cat for about 15 seconds before they have a hunting response that activates. Correct me if I'm wrong, but there's something about like ballpark, 15 seconds before they all of a sudden switch modes and it's no longer pleasant for them. It actually becomes painful, and or it's a sign of aggression. So you'll often see this when you have two cats together and they're like giving each other baths. Like they start off looking super loving and affectionate. And you're like, isn't that sweet? And then they're trying to murder each other. It's the same thing when we're petting them. You've got a very brief period of time before it's like, that's enough. Now I'm going to kill you. Okay. That's just how they are. Okay. So I want to move on to your other question here about Artemis, who passed. General message here from Artemis. I feel like Artemis is around actually quite a lot, and the other animals can see Artemis. Something about what looks like a living room and near curtains or a window or the side of a window. I also feel some of her things. So a bit of a memorial area for her over in one section. Feels like opposite, maybe opposite that window or more over to the right. She is coming through in the evenings mostly, and sometimes in the morning, but I also feel like I'm in the car from time to time. So like sitting shotgun, looking out the window, sending you songs popping in your head, songs popping on the radio, and something about Valentine's Day. I feel like visiting on Valentine's Day and trying to give you extra love. So I don't know if Valentine's Day this year was like hard for you or you just felt heavy. But Artemis has a way of coming through and lifting your heart and bringing healing to anything that you may ever feel is like a loss or grief or a bit disappointing, or I'm feeling a little lonely on this, or you feel like the weight of the world is on your shoulders and it's like, well, everything's on me. And if I don't do it, it just won't get done. And it's like, that's probably true. You know, that looks to be the case, but it's the way you feel about it. Okay. That she wants to come and bring some healing in toward. It's this idea that you are loved and you need to know more how loved you are. Okay. Yeah, there's a lot of affection there. I would also be watching, itself, this is on the side of the bed. I don't know if you have a picture, if you have a picture of her on the side of the bed, but it feels like you may put more photographs of her out. And remember, she is transferring her energy through those items. So like her old toys, her old bed, like anything that was hers, but also photographs are working. So we call this psychometry. Okay, this is when you can speak directly to a spirit through a photograph or an object, okay, by holding it. So try to do that more. It's almost like get a little picture of me and keep it on the side of the bed, okay? So I think you'll be seeing her more in dreams, but I know you have already a couple. All right, beautiful, beautiful. And thank you. There's a big thank you here. Thank you for giving me a lovely life. I feel like you talked to her like she was a human, like she was an adult. Like she was just a person. I just have you talking to her and being like, well, this is what we're doing. And this is what is happening for dinner. And this is what we're doing today. And this is what's going on in the house. And it was just very, you know, like an ongoing dialogue. There's a camaraderie here. Very sweet. All right. We're going to move on to another one. Who do we have coming up next? This is for Josie. Josie is just giving some confirmation on her reading. She said, thank you so much. Oh, Allie. Okay, so Allie got the reading for the, I think it was a living dog, right? Allie was so excited to hear that reading. She's 16. That's so cute. I absolutely love it. Okay, good. I'm glad it helped. And do we have any more coming in? Hello, Ezzy. Do you want to come up and say hi to everybody? This is last call, guys. All right. So if you want to get your pet reading for tonight, now is the time. That means drop your $10 donation and your question about your living or past pet. Now, you guys can always book this privately up on my website. Thank you for the hearts on TikTok. So you just go to ivyriverapsychicmedium.com and you can click on pet reading anytime. Just a reminder too that you guys can book a reading internationally. Most of what I do is over the phone. Okay, so super simple self-booking system. And if there's not any availability in your time zone, if you're like, you know, sometimes in the Middle East, it can get a little bit tricky with availability. You can always just get a video reading. See, it looks like we have one more coming in, or Stellar97 from, we're up here on TikTok. Thank you for the hearts. Stellar97 says, for a reading, pet's name is Star. A general message, she was my world. Okay, general message from Star. I feel immediately like a headache and like tension in the jaw. So this may have been really, really hard on you. Star's passing. It's still, the minute I tap into this, it reads as like physical distress. And I don't know if you carry some level of guilt or survivor's guilt, you know, or a lot of questions about Star's passing, but that may even come up sometimes, mentally affecting you or emotionally affecting you, or even showing up in your dreams. And what Star's talking about here is just like a release. Okay, a release. I feel like, you know, what a good place she's in. There's this sense here of knowing right away, you know, that she crossed into a better space, and receiving what feels like visits through the house, noises, music, clinking, clanking, like things moving. There's a sense here of, how do I want to say this? It's almost like noises off in a distant room to the right from wherever you are. You're like, what is that? Shortly after her passing. Okay. And then more visits where she's coming to you. So like in your sleep, in your dreams, when you're resting, when you're relaxing. This could be in bed, but this could also be like out and on the sofa, or, you know, in your favorite chair and things like this. I even feel some visits going on like at work or at school. So whenever you're really focused on whatever this is that you're doing, yeah, come on up here. Come on up. Come say hi. It seems work related. I have her trying to like be up on you, be up on your lap, keep you company. I think one of the things she really liked to do was like, you're doing your thing and she's doing her thing, like watching you. You're doing your thing and she's doing her thing, laying on you. You're doing your thing and she's just like happy to be there. Like, I'm just happy to be present with you. You know, it's very sweet. And I think that, that energy continues in brief visits, okay, throughout the day. There is also a lot of gratitude here for like making my life fun. So you may have made things very full in her life. You know, it's like there was always something to look forward to. There was always something going on. You as a companion. Okay. I was going to say as an owner, as a companion, you as a companion, you were someone who kept things interesting. Okay. You kept things alive and you made life special. Like, you may romanticize your own life too. It's like, I'm sort of romanticizing every cup of tea, every day I have, all the mundane things. Like, I want this to be a special time. And for sure you made it that way. You made everything magical, everything magical. Okay. I feel like you guys, she just says too, you guys will meet again. So you're not done. There is past life connection here. And there is what astrologers would call North Node connection, which basically means your lives together aren't done. You have more work to do in this life, and you will be working together more in future lives as well. Very interesting. Okay, thank you. Do we have any more coming in, or are we at time? So Catherine says, this is in regards to Artemis in a previous reading I did. Thank you so much. Artemis and I saved each other. I helped giving birth to her and got her breathing. And I was at a dark place in my life and I didn't want to be here. She was also the runt, far out. You can't make stuff like that up. That's amazing. So you saved each other. 100%. 100%. Absolutely beautiful. We have Edgar just giving a little feedback here on his previous reading. Tommy reminds me so much of a current neighbor's cat named Patches. Oh, okay, so I think this is a new question. Who is also white furred. They act very similar. Oh, okay, so that's just feedback. That's funny. Yeah, we could be looking at some reincarnation there because you seem to attract that in themes. I have to fix my TikTok. Hold on. What am I having like issues with all these cameras today? Mercury is officially in retrograde. We're just lucky anything's running at all. Am I up? Did I get up? Am I up for you? What's going on? Don't stay under my feet. Come on. Ezzy's gonna trip and kill me here. Come over here. Come over here. I forgot what I was saying. You want to come? What's up, Mama? Everybody loves you. Everybody wants to say hi. Okay, I think I got to everything. Is there anything else coming in? Oh, we have another one. Okay, so Icy Trina says, my cat Lily and her daughter Dash were indoor-outdoor. They both eventually never came back. Have they passed, and what messages do they have? Okay, so Lily and Dash, and you want to know basically where they are. Okay, I don't know if you're on a country road, but I mean, my equivalent of a country road, my idea of what a country road looks like, there's like not a lot of houses, basically, you know. I mean, there's a little breathing room, a little space. And it seems like there's a lot of land. It seems like there's like a big yard, or there are a lot of places I can go. And what is happening here essentially is that they have like multiple houses. They both did this. They're pretty similar in that. This is a situation where they're going elsewhere for entertainment, for pets, for food, for whatever, you know, social life, the life, you know how cats are. They're going elsewhere for all of that, but there's a substantial amount of land, I believe, on your property is on it as well. And you always seem to have not necessarily the good food, but consistent food, you know, or like if I'm hungry, I'm going to go there, but I can maybe get better food elsewhere. And it's not necessarily coming from the neighbors. It's probably coming from hunting, you know, and my cats do this too, where, I mean, Jesus passed a few months ago, but the two of them would tag team on anything. I mean, they're horrible. You know, rabbits, larger animals, birds. I've seen them jump and get birds right out of the sky, and then the other one gets on it, and like they would hunt together, and then they would eat that thing, and that was way better than anything I had served. And so the plate of food I put down for them is like sitting there going bad in the kitchen, even if it's fancy feast. It's sitting there rotting basically because they would prefer a fresh kill. So there's this whole system that they had where it's like things are better elsewhere. But at some point, they seem to have, and I don't know if the daughter went last, like if you saw the daughter last, but it feels like Dash may have come back one more time. Something like that. It's like you saw one last time, and then they're gone. Okay, permanently. And that's basically what they went off to do. I do feel that they have passed, and I do wonder if some of that is a wound related, and I wonder if some of it is also vehicle related. Okay, so, but they are in a good place. They keep an eye on you from time to time. I feel like you may see them even. It's like whether they're crossing through, or I don't know if you're living in a different place, but it's like crossing through on the land. Like I'm seeing them. I think I'm crazy. Am I seeing them? You know, but you're not imagining it. You are seeing them and hearing them, because they seem like quite audible. I think it's Lily. It's Lily, the loud one. And I think you're going to be getting a visit because we're having this reading. Okay, so I would watch for a visit dream with them. And they do seem to be, it's almost like Lily's over here, Dash comes from over here. They're together for a moment, and you're just seeing them. You're not petting them. You're watching from a distance. They're moving through. Okay, they're in a good place. cats like this, that's the thing with indoor outdoor cats, you know, and that's just sort of a general message for everyone. You know, we get a bad rap sometimes for like not trapping our cats inside and stuff like this, but you know, we want them to have a full life. We want them to have those choices and opportunities. It's what they're naturally built to do. And we want to honor that nature in them. And a lot of people say that, you know, they can pass a lot earlier. That's a fact. They can, due to all the exposure that they have compared to an indoor cat. But we need to think of this as like we gave them the fullest life they could possibly have. I mean, I would rather live free, die young, you know, and they don't always die all that young. I mean, you know, so they were happy, but they are picky about food. When you have an indoor outdoor cat and they can hunt for themselves, I mean, it's like good luck getting them to eat anything inside. Let's move on to another one. If there are any more coming in, where are we on time? How are we doing, Diana? Any more? Just a reminder to everyone that Wednesday. Okay, it looks like we have some more coming in here. Oh, okay. I'll get back to what I was saying after. So we have Michelle Keaton. Okay, so Michelle Keaton from TikTok says, my dog Bear of 12 years had to be put to sleep yesterday. I'm heartbroken. Is she okay? Where is she? Okay, is that the whole question? Okay, gotcha. Where is she and is she okay? Well, she has crossed. I feel like she was a little bit out of it even before, okay, you had to put her down. So the first thing that she's talking about here is like laying down. I feel like you had her wrapped in something. Maybe you had her like wrapped in a blanket. It almost feels like a quilt of some kind. And I have her mouth a little bit open. And so she looks like she's ready to go. Do you understand what I'm saying? She looks, even before you had to put her down, like she was already in the process of going. I think that's a better way to say it. It looks like she said, making peace with the world, making peace with this world. I think what she means by that is like having my final look, having my final goodbye. She was ready to go. Her breathing was slowing. Her system was slowing. So I think she's talking about the organs and the filtration system, the digestive tract, okay, all of this. It was slowing. She may have been doing okay with food here and there, you know, before that, but you knew it was time. And there's something about the eyes here. I don't know if you felt like she wasn't in her body or you couldn't see her in her eyes. Her vision may have also been starting to go. And let's just put it this way. Her quality of life was not there anymore. Okay. And this is the type of animal who really valued that quality of life and had some level of, I don't want to call it shame, but it's like self-respect, dignity. You know, I wanted to hold on to my dignity, what was left of it. I think Bear always too really wanted to be purposeful for you, like helpful for you, like there for you, there to help you. And it had just become a situation where it was like Bear was feeling like a burden to you. Something, you know, that had to be caretaking. It was constant caretaking. I think you looked for other ways too. So there could have been like 3 or 4 trips to the vet where it was like, let me look through all my possibilities. Let me dot my I's, cross my T's. What else could be done? Where else could we go with this? And then you reached a point where you were like, done, like the finish line. Like, this is the right answer. This is the thing that needs to be done. But again, I feel a slowing of breath. So I do wonder if Bear reached a point where it was like, I'm already going, you know, I'm going. because it feels like you didn't drag it out. It feels like you didn't make me drag it out. And there's gratitude about that. There's an appreciation for that level of love and support and care that we all deserve to have. So you did the right thing. Where is she? It's like, where? I'm everywhere. Okay. So Bear says, like, I'm everywhere. I'm everywhere. I'm on your left. I'm on your right. Sound throwing is this weird phenomenon I still haven't really fully figured out, but Bear does sound throwing where you're going to hear something like behind you to the left and you're hearing it inexplicably. I cannot say how this is true, but also to the right in front of me, or like in several different places at the same time, and it's connected to the same sound. And you know that intuitively, instinctually, but it's coming from different places, which is impossible. It's sound throwing. I don't know. It's a freakish paranormal thing. It's like, this is a great example of how Bear's energy can be everywhere. I'm everywhere at once. Okay. I'm not just in like one place. I don't know too, if you're having him cremated. This may be something, you're trying to figure out. Okay. But there is this sense of like, I'm also not there. I'm not where I'm buried, or I'm not in the ashes, or I'm not in one specific memorial spot, because I see you going up to like pictures and like tapping and feeling like, okay, I'm talking to you through this, but it's like, it's easier than that. Yeah, there's a lot of love here. Watch for hearts, like literal red hearts. So like Bear's going to be sending you hearts on your phone and through the computer, and it feels like little pillows, or people may be gifting you things, right? And they have hearts on them. Even emojis count. Just know Bear's giving you a lot of hearts, shows up in the hearts, as well as butterflies, dragonflies, and it looks like we're going to be talking about ladybugs and cardinals. Okay, that's oddly specific. Hummingbirds? This could be a little harder to pull off. We'll see. Okay, but be watching for those things. Really, he just wants you to rest. Okay, you need some rest because this has been hard. You need to rest. You need some sleep. Everything is as it should be. Yeah, just in a real good place. Oh, okay. So this is Michelle just giving some feedback. She was very sick. Does she know I was with her and how much I love her? And yes, there was three visits to the vet. That's what that looked like. It was like 3 or 4 different, I'm going to rack my brain to see how to get around these problems, but sometimes it's age. You're not talking about a 4-year-old here, and you knew that. 100%. She knew that you were with her. 100% she knew that you were with her. I feel like when I'm laying there, okay, so when she was talking about like my mouth was kind of open, that was laying there, it feels like wrapped. She knew you were the last thing. It feels like you're the last thing she's seeing. You're the last thing she's hearing. You're the last peek at this world. Yes, she knew that you were there, and she was grateful. A little distracted though. That's how the passing process is. They tend to get very tied up in what they have going on, and then it can leave us with this feeling of like, yeah, but we weren't connected. Yeah, because they had other things to do. They kind of, in your moment too, you will be that way as well. You know what I mean? This is why too, a lot of people pass when there's no one in the room. This is why people have a sense of like almost like a lack of closure, or something was off or weird or detached about the passing, because only one of us can go. And that's how it feels. And it's a little tricky, that transition. We want to be present in the transition itself. We have to be, or else it's chaos. And that means that we sort of in those moments detach from who else is there sending us off, giving us a farewell, but we reconnect anywhere from like usually 1 day to a week and a half later through a visit. And it's like, hello. It's not a goodbye, it's a hello. And then we reconnect and the new language can build. Okay, so I think you're going to be hearing a lot more of that, seeing a lot more of that. And then Michelle says, yes, thank you. Her white blood cells were attacking her red blood cells. What a mess. I mean, what do you. So 12 years. She had a full run. She did great. you know, and so did you. It was a beautiful time. But yeah, once we get to a place where, and this is just sort of a general message for everyone who's like, I did everything I could. I mean, we looked we lifted every stone at the vet from based on what the vets knew or, you know, what solutions they had. We looked at everything and ultimately we decided to let our pet go because it's the kindest, most loving and supportive thing to do. We would want someone to do that for us, and we don't offer our humans that type of solution. Only a few places in the world, you know. We suffer through it, and that's not the way to live, and that's not the way to die. It's not the way to go. You know, humans are doing it wrong. Our animals get more respect. And this was a beautiful time for you guys to be together. It feels harmonious. It really does, even if it was detached. All right, so we are at time. Thank you, Diana. I want to remind you guys that Wednesday is my Ask Ivy show. So you can start getting your early questions in for that. Now you drop a $10 donation. You can ask about anything: health, wealth, travel, relationships, paranormal, spiritual, literally anything goes. Spirit and I will answer your questions. That show is going to be unlimited. And then I am back on Friday for the Unbound Sage, where I deliver out to you whatever is the most important message for you to hear at this time. So you can also get your early questions in for that, and that will also be unlimited. Thank you so much, Diana. Thank you, Spirit. Thank you to all the pets, and thank you to everyone who tuned in tonight. Remember, if you need to get a pet reading, you can do it anytime up on my website, ivyriverapsychicmedium.com. Just click on pet readings. Have a good night, everybody.